Yo, what up, Street Talks here? Kim, alright, the thought. What is the use of money and what should we use with our money, time, and resources? So, one of the thoughts is use it as a chance to create an experimentation. So, the problem is, let's say you buy a fancy car or something, it like it's nice and all, but like it's done, right? Like there's no further exploration or iteration of this experiment you have, which is having a new car. And whereas like something I when I was reflecting on this, something I enjoyed was the experimentation of living in an uber minimalist like a studio apartment in a new luxury loft kind of concept. Actually, I thought that was really fantastic and I enjoyed that. And so I think there's still lots of innovations which have yet been created for innovative ways to live life. Like, you know, whether you live in a studio or you live in one of those like luxury apartment condo buildings, stuff like that. You design your own life, and that seems like a good way to live. And so I think a lot about like what's the point of money, what's the point of resources and tools and stuff like that is it's not to have the best tools for the sake of having the best tools, but trying to figure out how to buy tools that allow you and empower you to experiment with totally brand new things. So for example, one thing I'm quite grateful that I experimented with when I was living in Japan, buying a GoPro Fusion 360 camera. So I shot a lot of this 360 videos and I quite enjoyed that. And yeah, and that's like, you know, a totally brand new thing than if I just had upgraded my standard GoPro to shoot just more generic GoPro stuff. And other things that I was really grateful for is, you know, even though I'm kind of beyond it, like, you know, buying a Leica M9 rangefinder experience, I'm really grateful I had a digital rangefinder photography experience. Also the experience of shooting film, you know, like MP, shooting film compact cameras and spending all the money on film was a good time and use investment and stuff like that. And yeah, and even you know, getting a new iPad, using that as a chance to, you know, discover new innovative ways to create art. So like Procreate, you know, ZenBrush 2, now ZenBrush 3 is out. And so I think my great joy now, and then also the new frontier that I'm actually interested in is doing kind of more virtual reality stuff. So it seems that technology is only so interesting in so far much as it enables and empowers us to, you know, innovate and create things in new ways that we might have not thought were possible in the past. So in regards to any sort of innovations that you might invest in, so like there tends to be incremental innovations. Like for example, the new iPhone Pro is not that really, it's like a 5% to 10% step up from the prior iPhone Pro, or any iPhone from like truly, yeah, like any iPhone from the maybe the iPhone 7, iPhone 8 to the iPhone now, it's not really that huge of a game changer in my opinion. It's more similar and dissimilar. Same thing goes with Google Pixel phones. They tend to be much more similar than dissimilar. Shoes, even cars. I mean, the only really innovative car that's maybe worth buying is probably like a Tesla, but even a Tesla, it's like ultimately it's still just kind of a car that gets you from point A to point Z. And for myself personally, after I test drove my friend's Tesla Model 3 with autopilot, like, it was really cool and I thought it was fantastic and I loved it. but I was kind of over it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. It works really good. I think this is the future, and then I don't need to own one to appreciate it. So maybe that's also another thing we got to realize about innovation and stuff like that, is that you don't actually got to own the things in order to innovate. Like the reason why I have zero interest in buying a home or owning a home and stuff like that is I don't want to be tied down to it. And similarly speaking, you know, I like the idea of me like, you know, borrowing a Tesla or leasing one for a short period of time, but then not having to actually own one seems like a fun one for me. And so I think my personal hunger, lust, and interest is to continue to discover new innovative ways to do things which could hopefully better my life and the lives of others. Even for me, shooting like 4K 60 FPS video is kind of like augmented hyper photography, which is actually a huge sense of fun for me. So I think I'm innovating on that front. And also, yeah, virtual reality is still one of the greatest underutilized creative tools, but no one's really figured out how to, you know, play with virtual reality and create things in a meaningful way. I mean, I think everyone's just kind of addicted to these, like, you know, FPSs and shooting 'em ups, and you know, those games are super fun and quite nice, but still I think just try to think about the tools to invest in order to create things.